Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy 2021. Welcome to the Marketing Happy Hour. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Christopher Vogelmann of Maximize Your Media and Crucial Business, our coaching group for doctors and other healthcare professionals. And with me in this brand new year is...
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm John Paduchak with Videos Are Social.
How social are they?
Pretty social, actually.
They're very social.
It's surprising. Yes, they're very social.
What are you drinking today?
Nothing.
You're drinking air.
Yeah, I'm drinking air.
I have my mug, which you remarked at earlier about the chiropractors are manipulative.
Indeed.
From my sister, Michelle, who is
no
up
surprises
in
there.
Syracuse. I think she's got snow like you. You've got that background going on.
I do, and it's real. It's
real.
All 100% real New England right there.
It looks like you've got three lights that are reflected there too, like the ship from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Are they coming to get you?
No, they're not coming to get me.
Oh, okay. Just checking. I'm going to move over.
It's all good.
It's all good. So we are here. We've been talking about planning things for 2021. We now have 363 days left. Actually, you have 3 fewer hours than I do.
I know. They burn by fast.
They burn quickly.
Indeed, they do.
So, what have you been doing planning for 2021? They say if you plan to fail, you fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's the old thing. Yeah.
I think that's the adage. Yes.
The adage. Yeah.
Yeah. No. The typical, lining things up, organizing things out, and planning the year like everyone else does.
What does organizing things up mean, though? I'm curious.
Well, it obviously means different things to different people, but to me, it means just kind of outlining things for the year, going through and seeing where things are, getting set, the accounting set up for the new year, all of those things.
The accounting, that's right. We were talking about that just before we went live.
Yeah. Because it's important. If you're going to be in business, you got to track it.
Because you were mentioning it's picked up codes for Descara, which was an interesting.
We posted that.
It wasn't too scary. It was Descary.
It was Descary. Yes. And I was just talking to my friend today, Mark Hardy. We always do a thing about theming your year. And so
I didn't get the mute fast enough.
Oh, no.
I tried to get to the mute before it sneezed.
Knew it was coming.
Marketing is an endless series of experiments, and I failed in my experiment because I didn't have my reading glasses, so I couldn't see the mute button.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions.
No, New Year's
I find them very hard to, stay on and stick with. And so a couple of years back, my friend Mark Hardy had turned me on to theming your year. And that's something that, we've done together over the last few years. I still haven't quite decided on my theme, but for me this year, I think is going to be a very big year of reinvention and reorganization of a lot of things.
Well, catch me up on the word reinvention, because I think sometimes we throw these things around. I've done it many times. I talk about, I'm going to revive or renaissance or whatever it is. So what does reinvention mean, though? I'm curious.
I think most people would talk about it as a pivot.
Okay.
Making a pivot in your business or changing some things that, haven't been as positive for you as they have been in the past, because it's an evolution. Things change over time, and we all need to make different little tweaks as we go along.
I was going to tweak right here. See how we can change that back and forth. This is our endless market. I kind of like the
dark looks better with my background.
Yeah, that's the reason I switched it, because I wanted to show more of your as the bluish gray sky turns black.
Live New England sky.
I will say I actually like this setup better than some of the ones you've done before. I like the idea that I can actually look out on New Hampshire.
You can. It's pretty cool. And we just got a nice little bit of snowfall today, so there's a little bit of snow around on the ground.
Was it dust? It wasn't 2 feet like my sister had.
It was a Dustin.
A Dustin.
Dustin.
Hoffman?
No.
Not Dustin Hoffman. Okay.
The dusting.
Yeah. So yesterday we had the most fabulous New Year ever, which was we were hovered over spreadsheets for 2020.
Oh my gosh.
We're looking at spreadsheets from everything from my wife's blog to our agency services to starting some new stuff also, because we now have an e-commerce store selling embroidered Mexican aprons and masks and all kinds of stuff, and that just took off out of nowhere in mid-November. I just threw up the Shopify store and put like 10, not even 10 items. I think there was 8 or 9 items up there. And it just started taking off, and it just continues to this day. So, I mean, we're not going to kill it off because it's a nice little source of revenue. But, after we abandoned LED bike lights and flashlights about 2 years ago, I vowed never to go back into e-commerce. So never say never is what I'm going to say from now on.
We took kind of an unusual relaxed day yesterday for New Year's Day. And, did some different odds and ends things, talked about, where we want to go camping this year and things we want to just, kind of vacation wise and, a little bit business wise, but mostly it was more of a day off for us for change.
Yeah, I think we've gotten very good at getting back into walking regularly. And that was, and we had both been rather ill for several weeks and finally got feeling better and started before the new year walking every single ding dong day. Yeah. And it's interesting to see how that habit, it actually is a habit, even though it's only been going on for under 12 days, I would say 11 days, 10 days, something like that. But that actually creates a degree of mental clarity with respect to being able to stare at spreadsheets for an hour or so.
Indeed. It's funny. We actually talked a little bit about that yesterday about, our exercise program for the year and what we're going to do and, walking more and all of that. One of my friends was telling me to look at the Couch to 5K app.
There's our flash again. Where do we get this flash periodically? I actually want to take the recording and just do the timestamp on this and send this to StreamYard and ask them, why do we flash occasionally? Because I do keep my shirt on and my pants on.
I know, and it's important
during all of these.
Thank you for that.
Yes. You're welcome. Yeah, my old nickname of Dr. No Pants is no longer part of the vernacular in this household.
Yeah, Andrew said that's a best practice right there.
The best practices. Best practices.
Yes. Yep.
But so besides walking, what kind of exercise stuff are you talking about for the new year?
Well, for me, I've been very underconditioned because, I shared with you that I had a long time illness and I really am very underconditioned. So for me, that's a whole new kind of exercise. Cause I've always been one of these people that could do just about anything. Yeah. So, that's going to be a rough one for me. Fortunately, I have a wife that's a physical therapist. So
she's going to put you through your paces.
Yes. Make sure I don't kill myself.
Nothing worse than a dead spouse to spoil.
I know that would just spoil her day. Come home and find that.
It's like when he's in ground. So it does. Do the misfit vegetables or things fall into this category of taking better care of yourself, or you just?
They did at first anyway. So that was a twofold thing. That was to avoid going out and doing a lot of regular grocery shopping,
right?
So that I could not be exposed to, or I would be exposed to less people.
Right.
But also it was a great way to eat completely organic, which usually is very expensive to do.
Yeah, that's our preference. As a matter of fact, people may wonder what that has to do with marketing and all, but the reality is you need a relatively clean diet and a clear brain or clear mind to be able to think and plan and actually execute all these little bitty things. Like just a moment ago, I ran towards Canva and created the image for today's broadcast. And if I had a hangover or something crazy like that, I wouldn't be able to do it as quickly as I did. It's like, I'm just figuring it's about as real as you can get there. So,
That's
but
true.
the coffee is helping.
Coffee always helps.
But coffee helps. Coffee cures. Coffee is warm and friendly, and it doesn't judge me.
I wish I could drink it. It definitely judges me.
Hmm.
So there you go.
Decaf for a laugh.
Decaf. Yeah.
We
Even
did
that.
Really?
Yeah.
It is. There are acids in there.
I can have a little bit. I sneak in a cup every now and then, and I love coffee. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. So I was just checking. I wanted to check to see, making sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay, that's good. I didn't share to the groups or other things like that. I lost my power. That was sad.
You lost your power.
I lost all power. Yeah, I have a cord. This is like talking about planning. There's a cord that fits into my USB of my computer, and it plugs into a fan that was actually designed for gamers to keep my MacBook Pro cool, because this one is almost 6 years old and it has a tendency to overheat.
I have one of those.
Yeah. And so I have the gamer fan underneath, but the problem is the power goes into the computer. It comes from the computer into the fan, and then there's another USB that goes from the fan into the microphone. And so if I wiggle the cord the wrong way, because for some reason this particular fan has decided to loosen its USB, I lose power to the microphone, and the fan stops working, and the speakers are also attached to this whole thing. It looks like one of those things on Christmas Vacation, like Chevy Chase, where they're trying to put all the cords into the light display in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, long explanation for.
And then all those meters started spinning.
Yeah, bad equipment, bad equipment setup. So
yes.
So now, do you use any sort of the contact management stuff for your planning, or is that part of that whole Descara thing?
That's part of the whole Descara thing.
Okay.
That's
As opposed to using Pipe Drive or something like that.
That's the reason I talked you into it.
Actually, you did.
So now we're both on Descara.
I still need to set mine up.
I have to set mine up for the start of the year. That was one of the bugs that they said they had in it, was the
you had
to start it on exactly when you want to start it, because once you did it, you couldn't change it. So
are they going to fix that too, or was that?
I'm sure they'll fix it. It's like anything, softwares go through growing pains, and they fix it, and they seem to be very responsive of doing stuff.
That's good.
You were saying they did an import for QuickBooks, and
yeah, I was surprised at that. Yeah, because I've never really liked QuickBooks that much. I maybe I shouldn't say anything bad in case Intuit becomes a sponsor, but but
we like TurboTax. We use that all the time.
Yeah, we use it all the time too. We still use it, even though we have multiple Schedule C businesses and LLCs, and it still works fine. I mean, and I will tell you that in my history, having been in business as many decades as I've been, I've actually fired 3 CPAs for screwing up my taxes. So
I know, very common thing.
CPA was not there was no sense that they were certified in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion. I eventually wound up with an enrolled agent, Colleen Gwizdowski. She's great down in Virginia, and because she used to work for the IRS, and she just did everything by hand, no computers or anything like that. Far more accurate than the CPAs whom I spent hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars on.
I know.
So
plus you get somebody like that and they'll actually take the deductions that you deserve, as opposed to playing it safe, because they don't want to rile the feathers of the IRS. So
yeah, I mean,
that's the thing about it.
I've had my encounters with the IRS long ago. It was interesting. I actually found that I could negotiate. I had to do an offer and compromise decades ago, and I found that I actually negotiated better than the attorneys you'd pay $5,000, $7,000 for. So which is pretty funny. That's a story for another time on how sometimes you really can be your best negotiator when it comes to doing
You
deals.
certainly can for a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about haggling over cars or anything like that. So
No, but just in general.
so for people who want to start planning, maybe they've missed out on the last 48 hours, what would you recommend?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question, Doc.
My gun is not loaded, but the questions are.
Yes, the questions are. I think that depends a lot on what they want to accomplish the most. Because
Well, let's say agencies, because we do have a lot of people do agency work.
So I think most agencies would be, based on the ones that I talk to, I think most are concentrating on how do I generate more leads? What am I going to do for my advertising this year and make the best use of my ad bucks? What services am I going to provide? Am I going to do something new? Am I going to provide the same things? Am I going to adjust the prices of my packages?
Yeah, pricing is a little tricky. We were speaking earlier of several clients that we have where I introduced them into really low cost packages at the very beginning, and now I have to raise them because our costs have actually increased.
And it's hard to do. I mean, you try to do that and offer low price packages when you're just starting out or you're just getting your agency going, and then when you got to go adjust those, that's kind of a big bite to take. It's much more easy to try to go a little higher, closer to what where you want to be.
Does this mean time's up?
Maybe no.
The alarm is going off.
But closer to where you want to be, because it's harder to adjust later on, and also it really shows your value up front. If there's ways that you can emphasize the value provide and get the initial.
Well, I do know from friends who have been doing high ticket coaching for some time now that they have actually had situations where they were charging. This was a smaller coaching friend of mine who had, I think, 8 coaching clients.
Okay.
And wound up doubling the price for the existing. It was 10 coaching clients and doubling the price for the existing 10, and 6 stayed with him at double the price. 2 of them went to, I guess, group coaching packages.
Okay.
And he only lost 2
readjusted
after doubling the price. So he still maintained revenue from the other 2 who were buying the group coaching package.
I think most of the thought process of raising prices is like in our mind.
Yeah.
Like, as long as we go forward and just realize the value we provide and that it's there, it's not that difficult to do. But if for some reason you have a challenge with that, it makes it a lot harder.
Well, and it also depends on the degree of service that you're delivering. If you're going to be hand-holding people, and if you're going to, if you do, because we've done a lot of original design work for clients, and that's very different than some of the other stuff where we will distribute images that are somewhat similar into different clients. But that individualized custom work does come at a premium price. It comes at a premium price for us as well as to the client, to the end user.
Yeah, there's different things that you can do to create added value. Like you can add a component where they get a little more access to you by email, or maybe can have, one of my friends was telling me about somebody who adjusted her pricing in her coaching program, and she allows people to call in and talk to her 10 minutes a day. If they get stuck on something, they get 10 minutes. They can actually physically call and talk to her.
That's pretty good, but I mean, she must have calling hours, right?
She does have calling hours, so she's got a scheduling package, and people schedule. Now, that would wear me out. That just doesn't, I couldn't do that.
But you were talking about doing laser coaching though for small business and others. Yeah. Are you still interested in doing that?
I'm still interested in doing that. I think we're going to do a lot more workshops this year because we got some new software for that. It's very next gen. It's not just Zoom calls like everybody else sees. Mm-hmm. It's really a full full-featured virtual event software. I'll say that fast.
FFVE.
Full-featured virtual event software.
VF.
So it lets you do a main stage, breakout rooms, speed networking. It has an expo floor. It's almost like going to a regular conference. And so we're planning to do more live workshops this year. We really haven't done any of those in the past, but I think right now people need more hand-holding. There's a lot of people out there who've been bit by everything going on with COVID, and they're trying to get new businesses started. And, they want to leave somewhere accomplishing something. So it's a great time to kind of do live over-the-shoulder workshops and be able to put that together and partner with a couple people on doing those. Maybe we'll even do our live video for docs in a way similar to that.
Really?
Yeah, that's possible. But I like the workshop thing. I think people are starved to network and connect right now because there's just no way to do that. The chamber meetings are taking place on Zoom and different ways, but it's just not the same anymore.
Hey, speaking of connecting,
yeah,
what is this Clubhouse thing that you got me to?
It's funny you should ask.
It's funny that I am asking because I didn't understand what I was signing up for. I do have James Schramko's little thing. He did that A+. He puts his courses now in that other little app that's in there.
Yes. Yeah.
But this thing, this Clubhouse thing, I don't even know who she is or he is. I don't know.
I don't know. But that's okay. So I think the idea around that is, again, people kind of start for networking, so they put together an app
that
allows you to do that. I heard Eric Louvier the other day talking about a guy who came on and was really doing some teaching as part of it's almost like a little virtual meetup group.
Okay.
You can set up and people will come and sit in on it.
But that's by invitation only, right?
Yeah, it's by invitation only. And so it's a brand new app that I think has only been out for a couple of weeks. And I had to really scour to get somebody that got an invitation. And my friend Sue Antonoro, they said, "Hey, I got an invitation for you. I want you to be in this." So she sent me an invitation, and I, of course, thought of you.
Why? Thank you for thinking.
You're welcome. So you can help me explore.
But it was asking me for all kinds of things like access to my contacts and this and that, and then it did this. But it did this whole thing of what are your interests, and so I did put in things like marketing and advertising and healthcare and technology.
Oh, it didn't even ask me that. That's weird.
It asked me all this stuff just like it would for, say, Twitter if you were having a new Twitter account. Huh. And then you press the next button and it says, okay, so now we're going to find people for you who match some of your interests, whom you may have never met before, and you can network with, and nothing. Crickets. So I was like, I don't think it's ready for prime time.
Probably not. I mean, I think that's part of the reason that they're doing it this way.
Yeah, by invitation.
Start to put a load on it and see what happens. But the thing with
this is a shakedown. This is a shakedown.
Yeah, it's a shakeout of sorts. Yeah,
not shake out,
down, but let's say shakeout. So because they're not like turning it upside down for your spare change. They're really trying to shake it out.
That's good.
But the thing that caught my eye as I was going through, and it says, "Oh, here are your friends that are also on it, and here are their contacts." And I thought that was fascinating. Like, you had probably the most contacts, aside from me, of anybody else that I know.
That's because
on Clubhouse.
It's probably because I like to meet people
or something like that were friends of yours that were also on Clubhouse. So I said, well, you got friends there, so
because I'm friendly. I like to think of myself as being friendly. It's funny though too, because my whole not being in active practice anymore, I have thousands of doctors in my networks, but the people with whom I spend most of my time and interact with on a more regular basis happen to be marketers, internet marketers, local business marketers, and others, which I do find very interesting. And yet I still maintain a very vivid and enthusiastic interest in healthcare, particularly brain health and things like that. So
I know. Well, I spend most of my time with marketers, even though I help my lovely wife with her business, and I know a lot of healthcare practitioners.
Yeah.
I got kind of a varied group of friends and hobbies.
Are there RV doctors? That's the question.
There are, in fact,
Are.
there are.
Are.
Yes, there are RV doctors.
RV doctors. Hey, so the other thing was, so we had talked a little bit about, I'm going to really put you on the spot now, about doing our live broadcasting course for doctors, which we had.
Yes.
We put it on the back shelf, the back burner, I guess.
We did.
If you put it on the shelf, it's not going to stay warm. So you have to put it on the back burner, I think.
Yes.
So I'm mixing my metaphors today.
Indeed, you do.
More coffee. But so we looked at that from looking at everything from a 5-week program to 4 weeks to 6 weeks and whatever. I think, have we settled on 21 days, you think?
I think if we do it as a challenge type of course,
it's sort of like a challenge course. Like it's a hybrid of challenge, course, and coaching all wrapped up into one beautiful package.
It is, and that's a good way to teach video anyways, because it takes a while to get used to it. It takes 21 days to really create a new habit, and you have to create some pretty good habits to be continuous with it and steady in your production of video.
I'm sorry, I'm less steady now because I can't find my reading glasses. That's
Are those big
this
ones you got?
This broadcast may never end today.
Don't put on the thick ones because it might scare everyone.
No, I don't even want to talk about those. Those are the glasses. Those are the glasses of which we shall not mention. I'm going to go back. Oh, I can find something. If I squint a little, I can do that.
Yeah.
This looks actually very festive. I had several other choices there, but I kind of like that one.
It does. It looks good.
It's not too bad. I can run the video again for 30 seconds.
So how about you? What are you recommending for people to do in the first phase?
I do recommend that you not overspend, because that was my friend. Actually, my wife and I both are friends with Rachel Miller. Rachel was at my birthday party 2 years ago, and she's like the maven of Facebook. I mean, she can build audiences just astronomically. The numbers that she has are just incredible. Anyways, but Rachel was recommending, again, there were this was on CNN, a group of Nigerian kids. Well, kids, they were everywhere from like age 4, I believe, up to 27, but they had done a whole series of short movies on a Star Wars theme, and they only used a Samsung Android phone. And somebody had a spare laptop that they picked up from one of the parents, and they did all this acting. They learned CGI techniques and things from watching YouTube videos, and they caught the eye of J.J. Abrams and a few others in Hollywood, who wound up sending them 2 huge crates of video equipment and desktops, gaming computers, so that they could do some high-end editing of their stuff. But they used for their previous short, and they did short videos because they had limitations on electricity, and they had limitations on the bandwidth that they could use to do an upload. But they used their phone to do all these movies, and we have found that to be the case, that you start with something simple. And I would like to see, it would be interesting to possibly even limit the course to people who had iPhones. I mean, they may be a little bit too snobby, but it would be very interesting to have everybody with the same equipment and see what they would accomplish. But I mean, you could still do things on with the Android phones too.
I think it's pretty easy to limit them to even with both phones.
I mean, the camera really is the key.
Yeah.
I think
the cameras on the new Samsungs and stuff are pretty good too.
Yeah. And the Google Pixel apparently has good cameras in it too. Yeah.
Yep. And the film editing software for both cameras is pretty decent. Plus, they both have more professional cameras on them. Like for years, we used Filmic Pro for the iPhone, and then for Android, there's one too. I can never remember the name of it. I have it. I just can't think of the name. But it's very similar to Filmic Pro. It's got a very professional camera that you could do real high-end still photos and really nice movie work with.
I found doing some video editing that I actually liked iMovie on the phone, on the iPhone, better than the desktop
The
version,
desktop version.
because I could just move scenes and clips just with my finger, and it was so incredibly easy. I was very impressed with that. Very impressed
Come
with
a
it.
long ways with this stuff.
What's that?
Come a long ways with the software.
Oh yeah, no, it's super impressive, the things they can do. So for people, I would suggest that they keep an eye out for the program that we're going to be looking for some beta testers. It's probably not going to be 100% free, but we're going to charge something really nominal, an extremely low amount, just because we want to see somebody committed to actually doing something, as opposed to just tagging along for the ride and being a lurker. So
Yes.
but it will probably be less than your monthly Starbucks bill. I will tell you that, considering that most of our Starbucks have been closed in this area. So,
We just opened a new one
oh, you did?
in town. Yeah, there's a new one in town.
Is that why your wife's going to be a barista?
No.
Oh no, that was just my suggestion.
It's
Okay,
your
that was my suggestion earlier. So.
Your suggestion.
All right, so I guess we're going to go back into our planning stages, into our little cocoon, and figure out what we're going to be doing for the video program. I think did we call it the Go Live formula or Go Live method? I can't remember what it was.
Go Live formula.
Oh, here it is. This is why I keep my my little post-it note in hand. The Go Live formula, which we are initially doing for doctors and other healthcare professionals, mainly because the know, like, and trust factor is extremely important when you're choosing a doctor or a physical therapist or massage therapist or anybody like that. And we find that that's one of the things that many of our mutual clients, or actually our individual clients, are lacking, is the confidence necessary to go forth and to go live and just get people to resonate with you before they ever reach your practice.
However, just about anybody could benefit from it, but it's
but our focus primarily is healthcare professional. I mean, if we got a couple of lawyers in, although I don't know if I really like the lawyers that much, but if we got a couple accountants in who weren't going to screw up my taxes, I think we would consider anybody who's in practice in its broadest sense to a professional
practice in business.
Yeah.
Has a message that they want to get out. And
however, we do have an exclusive group for those of you who are healthcare practitioners called Health Broadcasters, and you can find us on Facebook with just search Health Broadcasters and look for groups, and
should pop up.
It'll pop up. We also have a page, but that was only to create Facebook ads from, because within a group you can't create ads. That's the downside of the Book of Faces. So.
Yeah, we also have a good group for small business owners.
Yeah, I like that one.
The Marketing Strategies group.
Yep.
Local marketing strategies.
Local marketing strategies. You've been growing that sucker.
That is growing well. Yeah, we got 350 members in it now in about a month's time. So it's moving along pretty well.
That's good. And good engagement?
Very good. Yeah, it's finally getting rolling. It takes a while to break that code and get everybody comfortable with it.
People have to get used to it, and they have to give comments and other things. I mean, if you just post and nobody makes a comment, that's just like one of the death knells of social media.
Yeah, it's the first real group I put a lot of effort into growing out. And I noticed that once we got up to about 300 members,
it's like critical mass.
Facebook, that was kind of critical mass for us. And then Facebook was doing a lot. We have more people now that come in and say, we found you through a search, looking for local marketing strategies and that kind of stuff. And we're getting many more people popping in from that.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. So the 30-day live video challenge, is that still going on?
Video challenge. It is from time to time. It's not right now. I thought I was going to start one January 1st, but I didn't.
Right.
So maybe February 1st we'll start one.
On Groundhog Day? But the problem with 30-day video challenge is only 28 days in February.
That's true. So we have to go
wait till March.
But it's okay. Not a big deal. The beauty of that is you can start at any time and run it out 30 days. I always like 30 days for video because, again, 21 days to form a habit, they say, and it gives you a few more days to really ratchet it in.
I found them.
Oh, good.
I'm so happy now.
You won't be blind now.
They were next to my cards. So I'm putting together a new series of card decks, mostly based on gamification. So this is the game deck,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm recreating them all. But I'd like to do a little bit more with them, and I'm create a separate one, which is going to be the business deck.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with that just becomes it's not quite the magic 8 ball, but at least it helps you to kind of engage with people and in talking points, and it's actually even good for things like masterminds.
Could be.
Could be. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know when there might be a mastermind
You got
popping up
one of those going on.
in a digital neighborhood near you.
Yeah, we're just starting that out this year with ours.
Yeah. So, and with that, anything else you want to add before we go back to planning and working? I mean, I found working on New Year's Day actually to be really good.
I did too for the little bit that we did.
Yeah, I mean, we just did a couple hours, but it was nice to get back into the swing of things instead of just sitting around on the couch and eating things. So,
it's always good to begin with the end in mind, anyways.
Yes, just like
time goes on, and if you've got a plan in place, your mind's already working on it for the next day. So it's always important to plan the day before.
Yep.
You get started with anything, anyway. So
get her done in 2021. Get her done in 21.
It's a motto.
It's my new phrase for this year.
It's a good one.
I don't mind it. I think I'm going to keep it. It's almost like my homage to Larry the Cable Guy, as I said before.
I like it.
All right. Well, with that, going back to the comments here. It's pretty quiet today, but that's okay. You folks will see this on the replay undoubtedly. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below this video. You can also reach us. I've actually put this into Crucial Business. I put this onto my personal profile. We've got it in the group, the page, Marketing Happy Hour.
Mm-hmm.
The Marketing Happy Hour on Facebook.
Nice.
And then we will, I'm glad we got that, by the way, too. I almost thought we would lose out on them. And we are welcoming any questions you have, any topics that you might want us to cover in the new year. And I think that's about it. This is unusual that we're doing Saturday only because we're still floating around trying to figure out what our best day is going to be. You think it's going to be like a Wednesday, Monday, something not like a Friday. We're giving up on Friday.
Yeah, probably been a hard one.
Friday, it's my cry day that we're going to give up.
I know. And then when summer comes, I'm camping and.
Okay, I got the camping thing. Yeah, and your remotes are not too good. So, all right,
we'll come up with something.
So we will figure out a day next week.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
And then we'll let you know what's going on. And I'll try to whip up something in Canva so that we can kind of announce it far enough in advance. So
perfect.
That's it. All right. We'll be back sometime soon.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Where's my branding on there? Oh, I can't find it. Anyway, we're going dark.
It's definitely dark here.
See you next week. Bye.